Hey everyone, if you don't want to know anything about how to get this new exotic, turn away now. Spoiler ahead. For everybody else, if you're wanting to know how to get the new Wicked Implement Scout Rifle in Destiny 2, we're going to be showing you how to do that really easily in this video. This Scout Rifle is really cool because when you damage enemies with precision hits, it slows them and can actually freeze them. What you need to do first is have someone in your fire team catch all 3 of the exotic fish. We've covered this in our previous video, and if you have not watched that, click here. What you'll need to do then is go into the deep dive activity, and in a single run, that person who has all 3 exotic fish need to activate all 3 of the hive statues. The first statue is located here on screen. You can follow the path. You see that there's a light right here. Go this way and follow down to this hole where the first hive statue is going to be. After that, just complete the deep dive activity like normal. The second statue is going to be over from the left-hand side from the door where you need to go into. Once you get that done, you can go ahead and proceed to the next area. You'll dive down. You'll see a giant fan that you'll need to deactivate and continue to fall down. You'll eventually find yourself at a divider here. Take the left path and the third and final statue will activate there. Once you're done with that, complete the second activity as normal. Nothing extra is needed at this part. But once it's done, don't fall down. Instead of going down the normal way, turn to the right. A door will now have been opened with 3 hive statues. Activate all 3 of them, and then you can go proceed to the next area. What you can do then is go forward through the path here. You're going to find yourself into an area with a bunch of taken enemies, and they are going to do a little bit of damage to you. Be careful as you go through here. Do not use any heavy ammo here if you can help it, especially because this is going to be timed. There's going to be a taken knight that's going to spawn up, and you'll notice that you can't do a ton of damage to him. What you need to do instead is kill all 3 of the servile minotaurs to get a buff called Deadly Sharp. You'll see your blade keens on the left-hand side. Once you get that, there's going to be a timer. That's going to be your window to do a significant amount of damage. The next area is nothing crazy. It's just a lot of taken enemies that you'll need to knock out, and you need to kill all of the enemies before you get into the final boss area. So take a second, kill all of these ads. To open up the darkness barrier, you need to shoot 2 of the pyramid tech nodes. There's one dead center in the room and then one underneath the stairs. Once you've killed all of the enemies, move into the next area. The taken boss will reappear, but there will also be 3 more minotaurs that you'll have to kill. They are the honed minotaurs, and just like before, you'll have to kill all 3 of them before you can do significant damage to the boss. They're going to be located throughout the room. Try to kill them as quick as possible. Witherhoard does a good amount of damage on them. And once you get Deadly Sharp ×3, absolutely obliterate the boss. You can use all of your super abilities. You can use all of your heavy here because there's going to be a rally flag in the next room. So get through this part as fast as possible. Just like I said before you can actually get to the final room, you have to kill all of the enemies. So do that as quick as possible. Once that's done, switch to a chest piece that has some kind of reserves for your heavy weapon, and then grab the flag. Once that's done, you're going to head into an area that's going to be like a pyramid tech maze and a tormentor boss. As you're running through the maze, the tormentor is going to chase you, but this area that you see here on screen is the main area where you're going to want to do damage. The guy will actually run back to that room, so just wait until he actually runs into that room to use your heavy weapons or your supers. Before you can do damage, just like before, you need to find 3 honed minotaurs that are going to be scattered throughout this area. We found that they're at the outer edges of the room. There's also an underground area, but we noticed that the honed minotaurs like to be in areas where there's large landmarks like this big coffin, and you need to kill him as fast as possible because you do have a timer running on this, and it's a very, very tight window to do damage. You've got to look for all 3 of the minotaurs spread out throughout the maze and then head to the middle where you can do damage to the tormentor boss. Once you have the Deathly Sharp buff, you can go crazy, and again, he's going to run to this middle room here. One of the problems when doing damage to this boss is what you just saw. If you use your super on him, especially a damage super like Chaos Reach, it's very, very tough for him to not dive bomb you and suppress you. So what we found worked the best is having one person on divinity and then other people on some kind of damage weapon, like linears are really good. I've heard some people using Thunderlords apparently is really good as well, but using a divinity is really good because you can get crits on him without having to hit his chest. I think this is probably one of the most important things. Otherwise, if he's not debuffed, you're going to get small damage numbers and not get the maximum amount of damage that you need. Once that's done and the timer runs out, you'll need to go find 3 more of those Minotaurs spread throughout the area. This is really nice to have a fire team again. It looks like you can do this with match-made deep dives as well. So if you are someone who is a solo player, if you've got all 3 exotic fish, you could try and do it. But I will say having a team together would make this much easier just because the damage window is so tight. Again, get through that first area with the Taken boss first as quickly as possible so you have time to go run around and look for these honed Minotaurs so you can do as much damage as you possibly can. The main thing that I ran into was having very little ammo, especially after the first damage phase. So if you can find other enemies on the side to look for heavy ammo, that's going to be really good in this spot. But basically, folks, that's all it is. Have some person on divinity use some damage like linears or machine guns. I found that rockets did not work very well on this boss. We kind of treated him like Ralk back in the Vow of the Disciple raid, and he was a pretty easy kill once we got used to the fight. One quick note is if you die while you're doing boss damage, you will lose the deathly sharp buff and you'll have to find the Minotaurs again. So you want to keep moving around the room and do as much damage as you can from distance so he does not dive bomb you. You have a very large window for damage, so just do what you can with your primary when you can and then go look around for ammo when you're going to find the Minotaurs. Once that's done, a door will open and you can go over to one of the Veil Darkness statues, and that's all you have to do. It'll drop directly into your inventory and you're good to go. A quick note, in the boss room area, in the maze, there are going to be 7 darkness nodes that give you some lore on Xivu Arath. You can see the first one is here right above where the statue is, and the rest of them are hidden throughout the maze. There are 7 in total. To get the catalyst for this stasis scout rifle, we think it has something to do with these statues in the final boss room that can only be obtained when you are fighting Kudazad, which is the Hive Wizard. At the making of this video, we don't actually know. We actually went through and tried to activate the statues, and for us, nothing happened. But as soon as something changes, we'll let you know here in the comments of this video. If you need any help on getting this mission done, come on over to twitch.tv/ManoDestra. I do a ton of PvE helps from raids to grandmasters, exotic missions, and more. So come on over so you can get some help and get this if you need some help. Until then, good hunting, Guardians. I'll see you on stream.